Let's get on board Kranti Sambhav. He's a specialist in the space and he's already seen the vehicle. Kranti, thank you so much for taking the time and for speaking to us on the ET Money show. What is your initial reaction to the Baleno? It's something that was unveiled a while back, but the pricing is now announced. What are your initial reactions?
Yeah, interestingly, thanks Alex for this invitation. Thing is that I really liked the way they have designed it. Plus, the most important aspect was tech and safety. Because if you followed this industry, and most of the customers these days are talking about safety features, crash test ratings, etc. a lot, and Maruti has finally heard them, and this time they have claimed that they have got at least 20 safety features in this Baleno. So, most of them are kind of passive safety features as well, but they've also got 6 airbags, and they've got connectivity or connected features in Baleno, and a product from number one car maker Maruti Suzuki, whose products have been more or less value for money products in that segment, that manufacturer. This product having these tech and safety features, I was actually very interested in seeing the reactions of customers. But I think Maruti has kind of heard what the customers are saying, and the Baleno is in that manner, it's pretty packed product.
Talk about some of those features, right? Because already when it was introduced, if I'm not mistaken, about 4 years back, it was ahead of its times, because especially in the higher variants, you had that lovely screen and that infotainment system. A lot of the features that you would get on higher variants or vehicles that cost more. What in terms of features stands out to you? Because I think the rest of the car market has, in a sense, Kranti, caught up and is offering quite a lot of bang for the buck.
Exactly, and that was the biggest challenge, I guess. I mean, there were 2 challenges in front of Maruti Suzuki as far as Baleno is concerned, or any product in their portfolio is concerned. One is obviously the tech, because most of the manufacturers, whether they're Korean manufacturers or Indian manufacturers, on the front of high tech gadgets and features, they have they've proved themselves, and most of the cars are pretty high tech in that manner. And the second thing was obviously the kind of safety features which everyone was talking about. So in this Baleno, what I really liked, or you must have seen the teasers and images of those features. One was head-up display. While driving, that is very useful, and plus it's kind of safety feature where you don't have to you're not distracted to look at the instrumentation panel. So the whole most of the information is there on your windscreen because of head-up display. They have now 360-degree camera, which is in this new Baleno. They also have cruise control and the infotainment screen. Now, if you followed the car industry, Alex, one of the biggest feature most of the customers are worried about, they look at, is infotainment screen. How capable, how loaded that infotainment screen is. And I was really impressed with the kind of the resolution, the usability, the response was good, and plus the display was also nice. So for me, it was kind of impressive to see how Maruti has managed those high-tech features in Baleno. And pricing, price-wise also, if you look at this product, the increment is not that high, around 20,000-25,000 or whatever. That is the kind of price hike we have seen in this. So in that department, I think head-up display, 360 camera, cruise control, and they've changed the suspension setup also. So, I was pretty interested in. I'm actually pretty interested in driving that and experiencing it. So maybe I'll have a better explanation for what all the features. Very soon I'll be driving that car.
But certain aspects you would have already gleaned, right? And I want to just talk about the visuals of it. It is a good-looking car. The Baleno, the first variant of it, or the first version of it, also was widely accepted to be quite a good-looking hatchback. Could you comment a little bit about the visual changes that have been introduced? How does this new facelift stand out compared with its predecessor?
Alex, interestingly, I used to own old Baleno, so I was not so happy with the hatchback version of Baleno. But when it came, I was actually I like the way it looked. And even the new Baleno, it carries the same silhouette. If you look at the face, the bonnet, or the rear. But what they managed to do is insert few new chrome elements in the front. So the front grille looks bolder. The headlamp cluster is new with projector headlamps plus LED. It looks pretty edgy and very contemporary. If you look at most of the new products in new cars, the LED is very important aspect, and Maruti designers or engineers, they have managed to do the same with Baleno's LED, which is looking very attractive. And one portion which I personally like, again, looks are subjective, but the rear tail lamp cluster, the design overall feel, again, a few chrome elements in the back. So overall, chrome elements, new alloy wheels, new headlamp and tail lamp design, and plus front grille. So these are the changes which, the moment you see that car, you will understand this is the new Baleno.
Kranti, one thing that stood out, and I think a lot of automakers try to do this in the launch of their frontline vehicles or their popular vehicles, is they try to astonish or they try to surprise on the pricing front. And seemingly that's what they've managed to do here as well, because in the context of where we are with input cost pressures and the fact that a lot of automakers are raising prices across the board, discounts are a thing of the past, they've still managed to price it quite aggressively. What do you think about that?
Or competitive, but at the same time, it was also the necessity for the manufacturer, I guess, because the Indian car industry or car market is going through a shift, which is a kind of a global happening, where all of us are in love with SUVs. Most of the customers are in love with SUVs. So whether it's sedans or the hatchbacks, they are they're not in the top of the mind kind of buy, but at the same time, this segment also has seen lots of entry SUVs. I mean, they call themselves subcompact SUVs. For example, Tata Punch or Renault Kiger, Nissan Magnite. They start as low as 5.49 or 5.76. That's the kind of pricing we are looking at, and many customers are going for that. Maruti Suzuki says that the biggest segment last year, as far as sales is concerned, is premium hatchback. But at the same time, because of SUV, our love for SUVs, the pressure is definitely there on hatchbacks and sedans. So, Maruti's challenge was to make it, more load it with more tech, make it more safe. But at the same time, they could not go too high as far as pricing is concerned. So these were the thoughts which I had the moment I saw the pricing, which was pretty impressive. They haven't the kind of base price, I think around 21,000 increase, and even the top end again, it is around 70,000 increase, which is not that big.
But you said what you said was something that makes a lot of sense, right? Because in that range, if you go just a little bit higher, you're talking about certain compact SUVs which have become incredibly popular. Having said that, the Baleno is a popular car. What does the Baleno have to do to stand out in that? Do you think that it will continue to remain relevant and popular in the current avatar? And what about the CNG variant? Because that's something I think now people are gravitating towards, considering the price of fuel.
Exactly. I mean, that was also one of the questions which was asked at the press conference. So Maruti Suzuki, they didn't announce it right now, but they said that it's in the pipeline. We might see a CNG version of Baleno very soon, which is not very common as far as in market is concerned, because we generally don't associate premium vehicles with CNG. I mean, at least this is what we have seen in the in Maruti's portfolio as well. But the first question which you asked was, it is pretty important for any manufacturer in that. Thing is that if Indian customers or Indian customer, if he or she is not looking at a sedan or a hatchback, you can't do much about it. One thing which they can do, which they are working on, which they have in the interview also, I think with Maruti's MD, when we talked, we also asked about the SUV, smaller SUVs in Creta, Seltos range. They are also working on that. So thing is that you have to bring those kind of products, but at the same time, Baleno or hatchback or sedan, you can't do much unless you change the form. One thing which is the big concern right now in most of the customers is safety. If they just work on safety, I think right now maybe the trend is not very hatchback friendly or sedan friendly. If they just have the right kind of product with safety and high-tech features, the time will, I think this trend will again reverse back to hatchbacks. So they just have to, keep making good products, and customers will, the trend might, go back, and we might see people going for, hatchbacks, smaller hatchbacks, sedans again.
Tall order. We'll have to see if that actually comes to pass. Kranti, thank you so much for taking the time. Always a pleasure. And that brings us